Hi everyone, welcome back to the third episode of Agency Cast. Today we're going to be talking about something really interesting. We're going to talk about LinkedIn and how you can optimize it to actually start getting some more meetings in. Now, the backbone of this episode is going to be just the fact that I invest a lot of my spare time into just connecting with people on LinkedIn. And it's turned out to be very fruitful in the way that we've found that it's a very simple and easy way to book some more sales meetings and actually get some more clients coming in. So the majority of this talk is going to be around different ways that you can actually, go and optimize your LinkedIn profile to start making it more able to start converting you some more meetings and start getting some more clients coming in. So the first point of call for me really that makes sense, George, is to just talk about how to actually, go and optimize your profile, how to go and optimize what people see when they land onto your LinkedIn profile. So I think the best way to do this is to maybe just, if I share my LinkedIn profile and what it looks like, we can just talk through some of the different elements,
Yeah.
and then just throw some points out there for what makes it pretty decent at optimizing people's experience to actually go in and book a sales call meeting with me. And I'm not here to say that my LinkedIn profile is one of the best in the business, but what I'm getting at here is that the systems that I've put in place have helped me to just convert some meetings through LinkedIn on the inbound side. So let me just pull up my screen and then we can talk about some of the main elements that I've got on here. So if you want to go first, we'll just pick something out, talk about it, and we'll just go back and forth and just talk about different elements.
Yeah, like in general, I think it's a good place to start, like right at the beginning. So what I mean by that is, what is something that is a first point of contact for any prospect or any person that finds you on LinkedIn? And it's kind of think of it like as a first impression, so it's the way you present yourself. It's, are your shoes clean? Is your hair nice? Are you wearing nice clothes type thing? And each component is a different factor. So yeah, like for instance, like profile picture is a big thing. A lot of people I see don't have a profile picture at all, or it's very outdated photo, not very appealing, I guess. And you might think, oh well, it's just a profile picture, but these things matter. And it's the same with the banners, the bios, and the talks about section as well. So all these different factors come into play, and they all play a different role in not only giving a good first impression, but converting and nurturing those prospects into buying whatever you're selling, essentially.
Yeah, I think for me as well, it was a case of looking at what other people were doing and then doing something which was a little bit different, a little bit more unique. Like I see a lot of people opting for just like a corporate headshot, or
Yeah.
people even use just AI to like generate professional looking photos of them. But I opted to just look happy. Genuinely, I just opted to look approachable.
Yeah.
To just have a banner that's clear, nothing crazy, just something that says a little bit about what we do, and then mainly just put something really simple in our introduction as well. So, I wanted to combine it with what we do, and then a little bit of just like a lead into what somebody could expect to hear about if they were to book in a call with me. So these three elements are really simple to get right. I just opted for making myself look approachable, having something simple in the banner, and then just having like a nice little introduction that just tells people a little bit about me and then what we do. This part here that your talks about, this is just another little bit that you can add in. For me, this is just telling people what they can expect to see in my content. But mainly this is the most important bit in, this part of the profile, right? It's the website. I was debating whether to either use the website or a lead magnet in this part. I found that a website is better, and then a lead magnet is better to use in the featured post bit. But this is just a really cool way to add in a custom button to send people to your website. The way that you can do that, if you just go on to edit up here, then you can scroll all the way down, custom button here, and then add in a link. And then you'll be able to add in the website link, and then also name what you want the link to be. as well. So that's a really cool way of doing that. To add in your talks about, where are we? Gonna have to remember where to do it now. I believe it's in creator mode, and then you can just add in your talks about in there. The next thing for me, George, is obviously I don't want to spend too long just talking through my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
It's actually featured posts. Like we were talking about how to kind of do these best. And for me, I just kept it really simple, nothing overcomplicated. Just a link to our YouTube, a link to a little lead magnet here. Now, this lead magnet, I designed it through a software called Tally. It's just a cool little quiz that people can take, and at the end of it, they can just get a free list of leads to go and either, contact us about, or then actually run it in a campaign for themselves. So let me just go back off this. So that's essentially, I think lead magnets are very important to have on your LinkedIn profile. It's just a way where you can, something that you can funnel traffic coming to your LinkedIn profile through. Like people from my ICP coming to the profile, I want to be able to give them something that they can take away that makes them consider, like, okay, I may as well do that because I'm going to get a free list of leads out of it. So definitely consider having a lead magnet and then just like a link to a piece of content that you want them to see in this featured post. Like, it's really important to leverage these featured posts here. I don't know if you've got anything else to add on featured posts and why it's important.
Yeah, I think the feature posts, I think they are they are important. Firstly, it's not a matter of thought. It's one of those things that if you have it at your disposal, so you should have something there. It not only helps prospects and people coming to your profile know more about you, but it's also a gateway for them to enter the I don't know the way to describe it, but basically just coming to you and entering the funnel, yeah, essentially. Um, and by having different ones, it appeals to different types of prospects and what they're actually looking for. So as you see, I've got one on my profile as well for the podcast, and then you've also got one for like a client prospect side as well. So they both are about the same thing, but they're appealing to different audiences in that sense, if you know what I'm saying. And having that variation as well as content that's varied as well, which we'll come on to soon. Like having those components in place will allow for like the bigger picture to be built up. Even though they are really small factors, it will create a bigger picture for the prospect and people coming to your profile.
Yeah, definitely. And just to touch on kind of the softwares that we use to make these tick as well. Canva we use for all of the designs that you see here. Canva's really good at telling you like what aspect ratios you need to use. If you're not too sure, then obviously you can just search it online as well. But we design everything with Canva. And then, like I said, this lead magnet here was made with Tally. It's a really cool little software. It's basically like a Notion spin-off that you can do pretty much everything with it creatively. So it's a really cool little tool to use if you want a free, easy way of just designing some lead magnets there. So that's really all to say. And unless we get into the no one really wants to know about an about section, I'll just again, it's the same with the profile. Just make it simple. Just people. This is probably the last place people are likely to go and look at. They're likely to like look on your profile, get to maybe here and stop, or maybe even get to around here, click on something, and then that'll be it. They probably won't scroll down any further. So the next thing to talk about really is just like varying content and like the different kinds of content that you can actually put out to appeal to a certain type of audience. There's just one thing I want to say on this quickly, and that something that we always like to do with our content is we want to put out stuff that attracts, nurtures, and then converts as well. And what I mean by that is you want a percentage of the content that you put out to attract people, so to just resonate with them, pick on like key points that they're gonna experience as well. So like any sort of like opinions or anything like that you feel like people from your ICP will probably share with you, post some content about it. You've then got content that nurtures. So that's stuff like, carousels that actually give somebody value to go and download and solve a problem with. So that kind of content is all about solving problems, right? It's about putting something out. It doesn't have to be a carousel, but putting something out that is going to identify a key pain point of somebody in your ICP. And then put out a bit of content that is going to help them to solve that pain point. Then finally, you've got content that converts. So it's content that talks about any case studies that you've got, any results that you've had recently, and testimonials from clients as well, or whatever it is. It just needs to be something that shows that you are an expert in your space and shows to somebody in your ICP why they should consider booking in a meeting with you and actually moving forward with working with you. So, George, do you want to maybe highlight, kind of some of the kinds of content people can produce, and then I'll just like expand on some of the systems that people can use to actually go and create that content?
Yeah, so a big thing for me is obviously the variation within like human psychology and the way that people actually interact with content online. If you, as a business owner or even as an individual, are posting one type of content, what I mean by that is, like, say for instance, just video. If you're just posting video content, then you're missing out on the potential prospects and people that are looking at copy content or carousel content. So, like, having a variation in content, not only what the aim of the content is, but also how the content is presented, will open so many different doors, and it'll work better with the algorithm in general. Obviously, no one knows how the algorithm fully works, and you can't, fully like take advantage of it. But if you cover all the areas which need to be covered, varying the content type and the media type, then you will like have the best chance at getting to those people that might not see your content, like based on the other content, media content that you posted. If that makes sense. I know it was a mouthful, but yeah, like it's just about opening doors and appealing to the different types of people that are interacting with the content. You got to remember on LinkedIn, there's older people, there's younger people, middle-aged people, and it's not really like other social medias. Obviously, it's for business, but in the same senses that people are different, and the types of people, it's completely different to other social medias. But yeah, like if you're having this variation, not only in what the target is, but the actual media, then you'll be in a much better position. And it also gets boring if you're posting the same stuff, the same carousels, hypes, the same information, the same point that you're getting at. It's just boring. People won't care, and eventually, you will attract people, but they will lose interest eventually. And it's just important to vary the actual media and also the content itself. Don't talk about one thing. Talk about other different things. It's all about just building up a reputation on LinkedIn. And, with doing this and the profile maintenance, that'll give you a really good head start on, capitalizing on LinkedIn in a B2B space.
Yeah, definitely. I think just on that as well, I think it's just about like why people choose to go onto LinkedIn, right? Like you could have somebody who's just on their lunch break who wants to like see some stuff about the business world. You could have someone who's going on there to actually build connections and like look at content and actually take something in. So yeah, you're exactly right with what you say about how somebody could go onto LinkedIn who wants to consume a carousel about a certain topic. Somebody could go on just to have a little, look through some content to see what's going on in the world, like I said, on their lunch break. And I think it's very important to be able to vary that content. So yeah, you're 100% right. I think for me, the main thing I just want to mention on that is just the systems to do that. It's really simple. So some of the strategies that we use, firstly, any like repurposed X posts, you can just share them directly to LinkedIn. For LinkedIn carousels, we use Canva templates, just edit them to how we want them and then post them up as PDFs. And then if we want to get some video content as well, it's, I've talked about this on my LinkedIn previously. It's just the Riverside system that we use. So we record podcasts like this one on Riverside, clip them up, and then just edit them either with a video editor or through like an AI tool, add music to them, and then we can just post them to LinkedIn as well and have some video content to talk about. So it's really easy to get like 3 different types of content straight away for LinkedIn. I think you just got to know the software, just got to know the systems as well. So we talk about them a lot on here. So feel free to obviously connect with us on LinkedIn, sub to this YouTube, because we do talk about them a lot. So you'll be able to learn more about how they work, why we use them, and how you can start using them as well. So that's really, just a little overview into like the kinds of content that you can post and why it's important to post varied content. I think for me now, I know we mentioned lead magnets briefly, but I just want to go into a little bit more detail about them and just more like the functionality of them rather than just where they can appear as featured posts. So for me, like I said, the one that I'm using right now is a tally form. And there's loads of different types of lead magnets that you can put as featured posts on your LinkedIn. Like I said, you can use Tally to create quizzes, and then you can give away something free at the end of that quiz. You can use other tools such as Score App to create quizzes as well. You can use PDF guides, anything like that, to just give someone something consumable to actually go and take away. There's loads of different kinds of lead magnets out there, and one of the ways that we like to do it was actually A/B test whether to put that lead magnet as a featured post or as a custom button at the top of the profile. And I found that the best results actually came through the featured post because you can just send that straight to people. So one of the ways that we funnel people into our lead magnet is we'll just send out personal connections every single day. So, and to be honest, I do want to talk about this system a little bit more just because I've found a really, really cool way that you can actually use LinkedIn to find some potential buyers that are really, really niche down. You can essentially find people in your ICP who have posted in the last 30 days. And this is if you just have like a spare hour, you need something to do, connect with a couple people, you can get way more personal with it and actually send like your lead magnet over to these people as a way of helping them to solve a certain problem that they've posted about, or just something that indicates that they might be interested in your content. So one of the ways that I did this is I use LinkedIn to find people in my ICP who had posted in the last 30 days or so. Now, a beautiful thing that you can do with LinkedIn is you can actually specify what kind of content they've posted. So what I did was I built a list of people who had posted carousels in the last 30 days who are from my ICP. Now, what I can do with those is I can send out a connection request to them. I can say something along the lines of, hey, John, I just saw that you posted this LinkedIn carousel. It looks really cool. I can see that you're big on posting some interactive content. I wondered if you wanted to check out this piece of content that I made. It helps you to quiz yourself on learning about other ways that you can produce interactive content. So you don't have to do what I'm saying there. The point that I'm making is that you can use LinkedIn to funnel like really specific volume into your lead magnet. You can put something personal in front of them that makes sense. And I think on that note, a huge like advantage of that is because there's so much crap on LinkedIn, like so much cold spam. And I know for a fact that if you have something that in the buyer's eyes, like in the person receiving that message, if you can send them something where they think, okay, this person has actually gone and checked out what I'm doing and actually sent me something personal, then 100% you are going to appear positively in the eyes of that prospect. And it's way more likely that just doing that strategy, you'll be able to actually build some meaningful connections with people from your ICP. And actually leveraging that system to do that is just a really, really easy way. If you've got a spare 30 minutes, 45 minutes at the end of each day, just to send out a couple of connection requests. So I know that was quite a lengthy explanation there, but that's how we funnel people into our lead magnets. It's just doing connection volume and positioning our lead magnet as something that might be valuable to them based on a certain behavior that they've taken on LinkedIn already, and it's just a really cool little way of actually getting some people into your lead magnet.
Yeah, and just on that fact as well, like I think a lot of people overthink and try and perfect, a lead magnet or like a cold message, for instance. And you've got to remember that the people that you're sending these messages to, they receive this all the time. Like even me, a small LinkedIn profile, I get tens of messages every week, even more, just trying to sell me products. And it's all the same. You need to think of it in a way that you're trying to stand out. And it's a lot easier said than done. Like, honestly, it really is. But you just need to keep the content.
There's such a huge opportunity to stand out on LinkedIn, and people don't realise it.
Fresh and new, and in trend with what's going on. But don't always follow the trend. Try and, try different things, basically.
Yeah, 100%. I think we might have just overlapped a bit there, just because I think your recording cut out, but it's all good. I was just going to say, like, there is such a huge opportunity to stand out on LinkedIn with account-based marketing, with outbound marketing. And it's not just the traditional way of doing outbound where, you're just doing cold email, but it's also leveraging LinkedIn exactly like the system I just described. It's so powerful for you to be able to send out some sort of personalized message to the prospects. Because think about it, right? Your prospects, your leads, whatever you want to call them, they're going to get hammered by the same message 10, 20 times a week. You being able to put something out there to them that's fresh, that's personalized, that's actually going to help them, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to be able to build a meaningful connection with that person. If you can put something to them that's actually valuable, if you've shown that you've actually thought about what that valuable item is going to be, then that is, it's a really, really easy way to just get in with somebody based on the fact that you're able to send them something personalized. The reason you want to do that through LinkedIn and not email is because LinkedIn is built for that. That is the purpose of LinkedIn. It's to build meaningful connections with people. The platform has been built to facilitate you doing that, so you have to leverage it. Like, with email, it's much harder because you've got limitations on what you can send, how you can send it. But LinkedIn, it's very easy to be able to, enrich your lists of people very, very specifically based on a certain behavior, and then be able to send them a piece of content or a lead magnet, right, that is really going to help them to solve a certain problem or assist with a certain behavior that you've found based on looking at this list. So, 100%. Just start using LinkedIn. Just honestly start sending some personalized volume through LinkedIn, because it's such a easy way to just start building some more connections with people, start building some, I think not even connections, but just genuine, just friends. Like, it's weird. Like you said, George, it's the only platform that is different from like all social medias. Like, obviously you got TikTok, Instagram that are just about consuming content. There's nothing meaningful behind it. But LinkedIn is different to that. It's heavy on building connections that matter with people. And if you're able to use LinkedIn to how it wants to be used, then it will definitely reward you for it.
Yeah, for sure. And just backtracking a little bit, but when we were talking about the profile maintenance, definitely take inspiration from others as well. Successful people on LinkedIn, or people that are gaining a lot of attention, like, nab a couple of ideas. I'm not saying copy their profile, because that's not very good, but just try and put your own spin on it, and also take stuff from them which you like and what's working. Because at the end of the day, we're all playing the same game, and we all need to just learn from each other, and basically, just put your own spin on it and keep it as real to how you are as you can be, basically.
Yeah,
that's it. That's how you will be successful.
Yeah, 100%. And the last things that I just want to mention are just the differences between free, premium, and sales nav, and different ways that you can actually go and convert clients through each of these methods. I think first what I'll do is I'll start with free. I know I've kind of touched on it briefly, but one of the ways that I use LinkedIn, just like the basic free version of LinkedIn. Well, I mean, I've got premium, but I know that this can be done on a free account really easily. So one of the ways that I use LinkedIn to book more meetings is, like I said, it's just sending out connection volume. So whatever you do, you can just make some searches on LinkedIn, search for people in your ICP. There's a lot of functionality without having to use Sales Nav that you can still, use to actually niche down lists of people, find some people in your ICP that are doing a certain behavior, and then simply just send out some personalized messages to them. Like if you can aim to do 10 per day, then 100% as the weeks go by, you will start to see some meetings coming in. So the free method is basically just sticking at it, just sending 10 per day, just saying to yourself, right, I'm going to do some connections today. If you then want to take that to the next step, then you can go down the Sales Nav route. You can then build more personalized lists, look at like really niching down the kind of companies that you want to work with, and then singling out the accounts and the founders and the CEOs and the marketing, directors, whatever you want to do, and building lists out of them to then send a really personalized message to. In terms of like LinkedIn Premium, to be honest with you, I've not really noticed it. Like genuinely, it doesn't just stick out to me as like, oh yeah, I immediately see like exactly how this is having a change on my LinkedIn profile, right? Like there's nothing really that I've noticed. Like there's no benefit of it that I've noticed that really sticks out to me enough to talk about on this podcast. So what I mean by that is, if you are just using the free version of LinkedIn, you can still do so much. Like you don't have to just go to premium. I think it's more like, I think LinkedIn is more about just how people use it. It's not about what you buy. Like for example, you buy LinkedIn Premium, you get to see who's viewed your profile. That's about it. Like it's useless, really. Like it's.
I think, to be honest, there's like depending on what subscription you have, it just depends on what your actual needs are. So, like for instance, the free version is, you can do a lot of the stuff on free version you do not need to pay for LinkedIn for it to be useful. Like let's not get that wrong. But it depends on what you're actually using LinkedIn for. Like for me, when I was looking for a job before, premium is perfect for that, because you can send in mails to employers and get that first impression in, and also see if they're viewing your profile. You can get reviews on CVs and stuff like that. So in the sense of getting employment, LinkedIn Premium is really good. But as a sales, and an active user of LinkedIn, as a salesperson, using the Sales Navigator would be more beneficial than the premium version, because it just depends on what you actually need. So if we, look at an overview of all of them, it's just about assessing what you're actually going to use it for.
Yeah, that's
how you'll burst out of it.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I didn't really see it from the perspective of like an employer's perspective. Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting you said that. I guess I'm just not used to looking at it like that. But I think I remember when, because I've been through the whole, teachers and whatever telling you that you need to start getting LinkedIn and everything, but I've never actually seen it through that perspective. But I'm just looking on my profile viewers now, and I won't obviously share my screen, but it's just like majority of it is just either friends, people who are trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
Like there's not really any like leads in here as such. So I mean, from that point of view, obviously it's not really that useful to you in terms of that. But I think for me, that the massive advantage of having Sales Nav is just because I can build those more personalized lists. Like if you're big on personalization like me, then 100% consider Sales Navigator, because it just takes it that little step further. We're going to be putting out a lot of content. So a big thing for me now is to actually put some of these systems that I'm using, that I'm building out, on YouTube. So a big thing for us is going to be putting out some content about how we're using Sales Navigator. But not just like how we're using it, how everyone else is using it, right? it's like the little 3 to 5 minute tutorials, just consumable bite-sized bits of like little things that you can do, like tips and tricks and stuff that you might not have seen before, that can just help you guys to, you know, gain the edge over what other people are using Sales Nav for. So really excited to be putting out some content like that. And if you do want to see that, then obviously sub to the YouTube. We're going to get way more active on there as well, putting out some of those tutorials and obviously repurposing them on our LinkedIn as well. So I'm really excited to be able to put out that content. George, I don't know if you've got anything else to add, but to be honest, that's it from me on this episode.
I mean, the only thing I can say is take a look at the old podcasts that we've done. You know, we talked a lot about, in the first one, about softwares and how they've helped us with LinkedIn. I think we have a big focus on LinkedIn and content production.
Yeah.
Like that. So, you know, if you want to basically learn more about it, then definitely look at the other podcasts and see how we're utilizing it and how you could put your own spin on what we're doing and basically make it work for you. Don't think, you know, there's one way to do it, because there definitely isn't. And there's no formula. It's all about trial and error. So don't shoot yourself down if it's not working. Just try a different way, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's everything from this episode. Like I said, if you want to learn more about LinkedIn content, everything like that, the best way to go, obviously we can't really explain everything just face to face like this. The best places to go now for you guys are going to be, look at my LinkedIn, look at George's LinkedIn, and then just sub to our YouTube, because we're going to be putting out a hell of a lot more content on this. Just little, like I said, 3 to 5 minute bite-sized videos about different strategies that you can use LinkedIn Sales Nav for. So thank you for watching this episode, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.